Hey guys, hold on a second. I gotta turn off the fan so you can hear me. And it's bloody warm already in this trailer. It's gonna be 101 today. So I'm gonna do everything I can to keep on the down low and out of the sun. Okay. The Supreme Court, as we know, legalized gay marriage. And I'm making comments on the web about this. You know, I regularly comment on a number of forums, Blaze included. And one of the people already came up and tried to use this mind-numbingly idiotic, ignorant, worldly excuse. It's like they've closed their eyes to what the news says, what's happening in the world, just so they can repeat the liberal garbage lie. And what they said was, it was 50 years ago, or around 50 years ago today, that the court recognized the marriage between a white person and a black person, and was trying to make the same comparisons. Nothing's going to happen to people that are married or people that refuse to marry homosexuals and so on and so on, blah, 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 blah. And yet, you take a look at what happened just to that baker couple that refused to make a cake for a homosexual couple. Look what happened to them. You know, you're not licensed by the state. Well, actually, I can't say that because of food standards. But the point I'm getting at is that the separation between church and state wasn't to keep the church out of the state. It was to keep the state out of the church. So now that we have this ruling, any pastor that says, no, I'm not going to do this, can be removed as a pastor. The church can lose the 501c3. And to argue that that can't happen is just idiotic. Look what happened to the bakers. Look what happened to them. This will effectively close down churches. It'll keep the churches going, like the mega churches that are emergent church that are saying, hey, wait a minute, we've got to take another look at this. The Bible doesn't condemn homosexuality. Those types will prosper under this. Now, to even make that statement, that there's not going to be any ramifications upon people that aren't going to be recognizing same-sex marriages or performing the unions, is just to ignore history and the law. Now that this is law, homosexuals can be married. And you're found guilty of discrimination as a pastor refusing to marry them, or as a church, you will lose your pastorate. And you know, the state invaded the church a long time ago. The state is the one that recognizes marriages. You have to have a marriage license. You've heard that term, right? Well, if a pastor can't marry someone and give them a marriage license, who's going to recognize the marriage? To say that this is not an attack is just blindingly ignorant or willfully ignorant. When that person commented, I was trying to write back and explain that, and my computer went crazy on me. I've got it restarted now and rebooted, so hopefully I can get the comment out to him. But to think that there's not going to be ramifications against the church, when after all, this is just the excuse being used, one of the excuses being used to actually attack the church, the real church. True, it will be going to home churches, but where's the authority going to come from to marry people? If you're denying the right of the homosexual, you're not going to be given the right to marry the heterosexual. And if you have sanction from the state, then that means you are not denying the homosexual. It's over with, people. The dollar has been done. Armies are positioning themselves for a great big fight. We're coming up on the final blood moon. It is over. It is time to realize. So what if it goes, we see the final blood moon, and it takes another year or two for that war to break out, where the chaos is needed to bring the Antichrist? Our rapture period is somewhere in there. I'd say no more than 2 years. Most likely a lot sooner, and I mean a lot sooner. Because we're promised not to be here to see that. Yes, the church will suffer persecution. But it's not talking about the time of trouble. It's talking about the tribulation. Not talking about the tribulation. The church has had people being murdered in it for 2,000 years. That's not going to stop. In fact, now it's going to get worse. All right, bye.